Good morning. I'm flying in first class today with Air India. Now, I wasn't even supposed to be making this video. I needed to get to Delhi, so I booked a cheap economy ticket, but I got an upgrade offer to first class a few days ago for really cheap, so I thought, why not? Now, I've seen so many videos online of broken and dirty cabins, and I thought to myself, can it really be that bad? Like, how much of that is exaggerated? So join me today as I fly Air India for the first time, and what better way than in first class? Let's get to the airport. I'm starting my journey off today in Dubai, and it's just a short drive over to Terminal 1 where all foreign airlines are based. Bro, have a good day.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye. Now, I'm going into this completely blind. I haven't done any research like I usually do because this was so last minute, but let me give you an idea of my baseline. I've flown some of the best first classes in the world, like Emirates, Etihad, Qatar, some that people would consider mid-tier, like British Airways, although I quite like it, and some downright awful ones, like American Airlines First. So I'm curious to see where Air India ranks in that today. But I'm thinking first class is the best they've got to offer, so it has to be good, right? Let's go check in. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Here's my passport. I've just checked in. I've got my first class boarding pass. We've got amazing views of all the Emirates A380s out here. It's so cool. They don't have fast track here at DXB Terminal 1 for business or first. Someone's having a full-on meltdown. They don't have fast track here for first or business class passengers, but I do have access to the Ahlan First Class lounge, so we'll go check that out. Looks like I didn't need fast track anyway. That was the quickest I've ever got through security at Terminal 1, like 2 minutes. Terminal 1 isn't the newest, but it's bright, it's open, it's airy. I like what they've done with the seating down here. It's all nice and open plan. It's not just rows of plastic chairs. There's loads of restaurants lining the top here. Of course, you got your duty-free shopping, and there's a few lounges. So I've been to the Ahlan Business Lounge before, I've been to the British Airways Lounge, and now, for the first time, I'm going to check out the Ahlan First Class Lounge. Let's go. Can I have a glass of champagne, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Alright, let's talk about the lounge situation here. I tried to get into the first class lounge and they told me I couldn't get in because apparently Air India only pays for business class lounge access, even for passengers in first class. So not a great start, but funnily enough, I managed to get in here with my Dragon Pass. So that means someone with a credit card get access to better lounge than someone with a first class ticket. You know, I know Air India don't operate first class on that many routes, so they should really be giving access to the best facilities available on those few routes that they do operate it on. But anyway, I managed to get in, I got my champagne, so I'm happy. Cheers. Alright, flight has finally started boarding, so I'm heading to the gate, and let's see what this first class cabin looks like. So I've boarded, I've got myself comfortable in the seat, and the first thing you do notice is the cabin is quite dated. There's like loads of scuff marks, some bits are falling apart, but apart from that, the cabin is very clean, and the cabin crew have been incredibly friendly. They've already bought me 2 pre-departure drinks, taken my food order, everyone's got big smiles. And the other thing I've noticed is they've given me a business class menu. So I get the impression that I'm getting the first class seat, but the business class soft service. It wasn't really advertised anywhere that this was the case. I'm not too mad because I got quite a cheap upgrade price, which I'll tell you about later, but I imagine if you've paid full price for first class, you'd be asking a few questions. I assume that on the longer routes, like to New York and London, they still offer the first class soft service, but maybe because this is a short 3-4 hour flight, they don't. It would have been nice to get some notice of that. but not the end of the world. So yeah, so far so good, and let's get in the air and see what the service is like. My first pre-departure beverage was a glass of spiced buttermilk. I usually don't like drinking milk on its own, but the cumin infusion really surprised me, and I actually quite enjoyed this. I followed this up with a sugarcane juice, which was sweet and refreshing. Then the crew handed out a hot towel to freshen up, which is always appreciated when it's 45 degrees outside. And after a bit of air traffic control delays, we were finally on the move. The meal service started off with a glass of Laurent Perrier champagne and a small bowl of warmed mixed nuts. Cheers. The drinks list also had red and white wines, beers, spirits, cocktails, and mocktails. I thought there was a decent selection of meals for a flight of this length, with 2 appetizers, 4 main courses, and 4 dessert options. I started with the smoked salmon salad, which was pretty tasty, but I wish the portion was a bit bigger. For mains, I had the chicken tandoori bawan merg. I hope I've pronounced that right. The presentation was great and the taste was even better. Lots of flavors here. I think I made a good choice. And to finish things up, for dessert, I ordered the moti pak, but the crew also served me the seasonal sliced fruit and cheese plate with it, which was a nice touch. The crew made sure the champagne kept flowing throughout the flight, so my glass was always topped up. And after my table was cleared, the meal service ended with another hot towel. So, let's look around to see what this first class seat has to offer. First of all, I really can't overstate how worn out the cabins are. It's not really acceptable to have sagging fabrics and peeling surfaces on what's meant to be your best product. Despite that, it's a very spacious seat with 4 windows. There's a buddy dining seat if you want to eat with someone else, individual air vents, a pretty deep storage compartment, 2 USB-A charging ports, and an international power socket. The first class headphones come in this hard carry case, but the zipper was broken, and anyway, I didn't get a chance to try them since when I used the remote to start a movie, it told me the flight was too short. I don't see how a 3.5-hour flight is too short, and even if the flight was an hour, I should be able to watch half a movie if I want to, right? Anyway, let's check out the toilets. It's a pretty regular toilet here. I can't say they've done anything special for first class, but it's very spacious and it's been kept very clean. And there's 2 toilets at the front of the cabin for 4 first class passengers, so I don't think you'll be ever waiting. Oh, I just lied down for a little bit and I completely fell asleep for like an hour. I just got woken up by the captain saying we're starting our descent, so let's get up and get into New Delhi. Before we come into land, let me tell you about the pricing. I originally booked this as a one-way economy ticket for about $100, and then a few days before takeoff I got an offer to upgrade to first class for $400. So I jumped on that straight away because the regular cash fare on this route for a one-way first class ticket is about $2,000. So I paid $500 instead of $2,000 basically, so I'm pretty happy with that outcome. Alright, so I've just made it to New Delhi. Actually, just from landing at the gate, there was a representative that met me and escorted me all the way through the airport. I got fast track immigration and he took me all the way to where the Uber pickup spot was, so excellent service there. Now overall, I've got to say I had a pretty positive experience. If we go back to the preconceptions at the start of the video that the cabins are dirty and broken, Like, I can absolutely not say they're dirty. Broken, maybe not, but they were definitely worn out and dated. There's stuff peeling, like it didn't look good. They're in definite need of a refurbishment. But Air India are undergoing a massive transformation at the moment, and they got the new A350s, which I'll be flying on soon, so make sure to subscribe to see that. And otherwise, the most important asset of any airline is their cabin crew, and I've got to say the cabin crew on today's flight were incredible. They were super friendly, we had good conversations, the service was really top notch. They were doing everything possible to make my experience as enjoyable as possible, so huge praise to the cabin crew. And I think if Air India can just refurbish the aircraft, I think you've really got a solid airline there. So right now, I'm sweating like crazy, so I'm gonna go jump in an Uber, get to the hotel. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.